Hello, 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 and welcome. If you are new here, my name is Kenyatta. I am a mother of two who's recently just moved from Grand Rapids, Michigan to Johannesburg, South Africa. And we are back in business, you guys. The holidays are over. We're back to business, okay? We are back to our South African content. So let's go. We got a few things that we need to get into, and this is a video that I've been wanting to do because it's important. We're going to be talking about the cost to move to South Africa. That's it, okay? USD and the South African Rand. We will be discussing that. Because a lot of people ask me about moving to Africa, specifically South Africa, and most of the time the numbers are either vague or unrealistic. And so I want to put that into perspective for anyone who's wanting to make that transition. So yeah, in this video, I'm basically going to be breaking down the real costs, the cost that I incurred to move to South Africa, the cost to land, to get settled, and to be functional. I'll share everything in USD as well as Rands, so this makes sense whether you're watching from the US or South Africa. Okay, so let's jump right into it. We're going to start with flights. Okay, I feel like that's obviously probably one of the most important things because you have to get there, transportation to the continent. So my flight, the adult flight was $750, which is about 14,250 Rand. A child's flight was about $500 and 9,500 Rand. The prices will always fluctuate, but this just gives you like a realistic range, not best case or luxury pricing. This is one of the biggest upfront costs, so it's important to plan that first. We flew Qatar Airways and just economy. And so, yeah. The next thing that is important is visa. So personally, I entered on a visitor's visa, and the first 90 days are free. I entered on a visitor's visa because, for one, I had never been to South Africa before. Okay, I was taking a leap of faith, but I did want to make sure that this is a place that I want to be, stay, live, and it is. Now, the costs definitely do come into play after the first 90 days if you decide to extend. Now, let's discuss airport arrival and costs, because these are the things that people don't usually mention. Now, getting through the airport with all of our luggage and all of our baggage, and I had a bunch, we had a bunch, was about $40. We had about 4 ladies that helped us through the airport, and yeah, they helped. And at that point, I was so exhausted that it was cool. Like, you know what, just come on, let's go. And that's equals about 760 Rand. The transport from the airport to the Airbnb was about another 50. And all of our baggage fit into our driver's vehicle. Our driver was wonderful, got us to where we needed to go, took us to the grocery store. So I feel like that was well worth it. Obviously, we could have did Bolt or Uber for cheaper, but with just landing on a new continent, you just want to be pretty particular, especially if you're traveling with children. Now, these numbers are small individually, but together they matter, especially when you're landing in a new country and paying for multiple things at once. So you definitely want to factor that in. Another entry cost that people forget is temporary accommodation. Okay, so we had a slight issue with our apartment complex, so we were not able to just go straight to our home. So we had to book an Airbnb. Whether it's an Airbnb short-term rental or a guest house, most people don't typically move directly into their long-term housing on day one. So even if it's just for a few nights or a week, this is definitely part of the cost to move. Not the cost to live long-term, but the cost to get you landed onto the continent. Factor that in. Next is phone and connectivity. So when I first arrived, I kept my US phone plan and used the international phone plan. I had a service with Xfinity, and that was $10 per day per line on top of my regular monthly phone bill. Now I did that because when landing on a new continent in a new country with two small children, I wanted to be able to call back home to the US. I wanted to be able to call in South Africa without any type of issues or anything. Like, let's just flow on in here. And that really helped me, myself. However, you don't have to do that. You can get a local physical SIM card and pop it in your phone. Just make sure that your phone is unlocked through your carrier beforehand, and you should be good to go. Just getting a SIM card with some data on it if you don't already have your US phone number and it doesn't carry an international service. And so yeah, that $10 a day definitely adds up quickly on top of your phone bill. And yeah, so I mean, it works for landing, navigating, and staying connected immediately, but it's expensive and not, in my opinion, meant to be long term. And so yeah, local SIM and data options make more sense once you're settled, and I'll break that down more in the next video. Okay, next topic: money, cards, and banking. This part is really important. Money access. You need money. Most international credit cards don't charge foreign transaction fees. So using credit cards is usually the easiest and cleanest option when you arrive. Now, debit cards are different. Every time you withdraw cash using a debit card, there's typically a $3 fee, which is roughly about 50 Rand, plus your bank's exchange rate or your international fee. And those fees add up fast when you're pulling cash often. So I quickly learned that credit cards were better for most purchases and debit cards were best used intentionally, not casually. This is one of the costs that people don't calculate until they see it on their bank statement. And also, you definitely want to double check with your credit card company to make sure that you can utilize your credit cards overseas, because some credit cards don't work overseas. Luckily, I had a bank called Navy Federal and that worked fine, but my other credit cards did not. So factor that in. Lastly, there are first week setup costs: transportation for the first few days, SIM card purchase and initial data, small household basics, small groceries. Nothing extreme, but it's still money going out before you're fully settled. These are real costs of moving, not just imagining the move. So that's the real cost to move to South Africa: flights, entry, arrival, and setup. In the next video, I'll break down the monthly cost to stay and sustain life here, like with housing, food, transportation, childcare, and everyday living. If this helps, stay with me. We're getting into all of it. Okay, and if there's any questions that you guys might have, drop them in the comments so that I can answer them, because I do wish that I had someone to kind of hold my hand and walk me through this process. A lot of things I found out on my own. I did my research, and I definitely watched other people's videos and things of that sort, but I did a lot of figuring out on my own. So if you guys have questions, direct questions, specific questions, ask away. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe, please and thank you. Also, make sure you follow me on all of my socials so that you get a real-time update on what we're doing here on the continent, what we're doing here in South Africa, because it's been awesome. It's been amazing. I love it here, and I don't plan on leaving anytime soon. So yeah, I thank you guys for watching, and until next time, follow and holla for more, y'all. Bye for now.